Okay, love bugs. If you're looking to have a little extra fun, blonde is definitely the way to go. And of course, if you're going to go blonde, ash blonde is superior. Today I've teamed up with Kisslove. They sent over this beautiful ash blonde lace wig. We're going to be doing a start to finish install. She comes as a body wave 13 by 4, 250% density, 26-inch lace wig. We're going to amp up the body wave texture and give her some nice wand curls. We're going to install, we're going to tint the lace, and just do so much more. So if you want to see how we got this look, let's get started. Okay, so jumping right into it, this is my hair. I went ahead and did a shower, wash, and decondition. Then I went ahead and did a nice blowout with my Dyson. And now we are into braids. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these back, put them into a silk scrunchie, and, put my brown wig cap on. This here is the star of the show. As I mentioned, we're going blonde today. And of course, the best way to go blonde for brown skin is ash blonde. You guys see the highlights, the lowlights in there. It's like it's all one color, but it also has like dimension. I don't really know how to describe it, but this one here is going to be super fun to install. Here I'm showing you guys a look at the inside construction of the cap. We got to go ahead and adjust the straps in the back, adjust this adjustable elastic band in the middle, cut off the excess lace in the back, and we are good to go. Also, I do want to mention that this is a 13 by 4 free part frontal, so that means we can part her however we want. Here is a look at the body wave texture and the color, as well as that beautiful 250% density. I really love how this one lays. Also, here is a close-up of the hairline. One thing I love is how beautiful the hairline is. It's like they put the hair in a way that it like lays so soft and feathery. It definitely doesn't give too much of a scary Barbie doll look straight out of the box. So for starters, we can go ahead and pull the hair back, and then I'm going to go ahead and just customize this one to fit my head perfectly. You guys already know there may be a little bit of excess lace around depending on the size and shape of your head. For me, I typically almost always have to cut off a little extra lace around the edges, around the earlobes, and I like to cut it in like a curved way so that it cuffs my ear perfectly. Once I have all that done, now the wig is a custom fit to my head. Here I'm just showing you how impressed I was with how the baby hairs lay. They lay so that they can move forward and give that nice natural look. I almost wish I would have just kept them like flowy like that, so next time maybe I'll do like that opposed to like my little swoops. Here's what she looks like set as a center part, and then of course you can do any part you want with this one since it's a free part. So this is a look at what it will look like as a side part. Of course, you'll have to go in and tint the lace a little bit, but I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. Before we get to that, I went ahead and did the dynamic duo. Now we are working with a different color and we don't have a dark root. So I'm going to show you how I make this one work and look really, really good without the dark root at all. So for the dynamic duo, we like to do the wax stick paired with the electric hot comb. You guys already know the drill. I'm going to go ahead on a high heat setting and really go in and press this one out. Now, one thing I like to do is to test my blondes and see what happens with heat. You have to be cautious just in case, because some blondes will kind of burn and damage, and like you'll see the dark spots where the hot comb laid. With this one, I kept it on my normal high heat setting and it did not burn or damage the hair by any means. Also, feel free to use a heat protectant all the way around. I will be using one on the end of the hair, but as always, I forgot to use one when doing the dynamic duo step. And of course, you repeat that same step along the hairline, and this is just going to give the hairline a little bit more of a clean look. Now, before we bond her down, I'm going to go ahead and begin to tint the lace. Now, this is scary when it comes to blonde because it is very easy to use your typical powder and it comes up too warm and gives like really, really red or really, really orange or yellow. I needed something that was completely cool tone, and luckily for me, my everyday lace tint actually happened to work perfectly in the parting. Typically, I would only use this one in the hairline, but you guys can see it gives brown, it gives muted, and it gives like skin-like, but it's not any like yellow or orange color. So that worked out perfectly, and let's hope we can do the same with the hairline. So I went ahead and pulled the hair back once again. We're going to cut off the remainder of the excess lace. Before you do so, it's a great option to go in and like pluck or tweeze if that is something that you want to do. For me today, I didn't feel the need to because I am going to do a little bit of baby hair, and typically that's a great hack to open up the hairline. And plus, it was already pre-plucked really nicely. Here I am just showing you guys, whenever you use your spray cans and they kind of spray funny, just take the sharp edge of some scissors and just kind of like pull out that piece, because typically there is a little bit of gunk, like the product has like formed solid, and if you just wiggle your scissors around in there, it'll come right out and your spray will be perfect again. I sprayed a nice generous amount to my forehead, and I'm going to go ahead and work the lace on top. Now, typically you will see a lot of people will put the product on top of the lace, and that definitely is an option that I do often. But I do feel like it comes out as a cleaner final result when you put the product underneath the lace. Now I'm just going ahead and blow dry. I do kind of work between a cool setting and a high heat setting. I prefer a cool setting in general, but of course I'm impatient. So adding a little bit of heat in there definitely gets it really bonded down. I feel like with the cool setting, it will come out a little bit neater also, whereas like somehow with the heat, it'll get with that product and kind of get like sticky and flaky a little bit. But you guys already know I know how to get that out just by doing literally the next steps, which is to do the baby hair. So I repeated this step with the sideburns, and as you guys can see, I do sideburns even though I kind of cut off a little bit of the ear tab, just because my natural hair is like a dark brown to black color, and I don't want that to peek through by any means. So that is one thing to consider when it is time to do like color, especially of such a, prominent color like ash blonde or any kind of blonde. You definitely want to make sure that your hairline is covered from ear to ear, simply because your sideburns are going to be an eyesore unless you do like a darker root, and then you may be able to play it off. Of course, also like with doing a center part, if your hair is going to cover the sideburns, and it kind of will also cancel out for day to day. But when it comes to your install with your blonde wig, make sure you have some kind of ear tab or baby hair to really make it pop. Now I'm doing a little bit more wax along the hairline. You guys did see I did do the hot comb previously along the hairline, but at that step I had not added any actual product to it. And so now I'm ready to definitely add the product, especially after I went ahead and bonded the wig down. Sometimes I will add the wax to the hairline before I bond the wig down. But again, that flakiness that happens sometimes whenever you put that wax down, even if you work it in just like this before you do the non-glue adhesive and the blow dryer, sometimes it will form like flakiness. I don't know what it is, but it'll make a product build up when you do this step first. Just an observation. Once we had that kind of melted down, I did go back in with that same exact lace tint, and as you guys can see, it does give a little bit more of a warmer vibe on the hairline. You guys clearly see in person that product definitely was very cool tone, and even in the parting it does show up cool tone, but with the blonde and I don't know, maybe my foundation, it does come up a little bit more red. Not too bad, but definitely something to note. So these are just the things you observe, and just be careful and try to learn from your mistakes and see what you can do better the next time. I mean, this one came out flawless and it came out popping, don't get me wrong, but seeing that it did show up a little bit more red than I would have liked makes me go back to the drawing board and make sure that I have more options for lace tints for ash blonde hair. So if you have any suggestions, I would highly appreciate it if you leave them in the description box. In the meantime, I am going in just to, do my sideburns and everything like that. I did this side with you guys on camera, and I'm going to repeat that exact same step on the opposite side. Remember, your hair, just like your eyebrows, are cousins, not twins when it comes to doing like two sides. So your sideburns probably won't come out exactly the same. 9 times out of 10, nobody else would notice that they're a little bit different. So one may be a little bit thicker, one may be a little bit more long. You might have a favorite swoop that came out perfect and the other one is a little bit struggle bus. But literally, when you put it all together, it is going to be fine. So definitely do it and work it until you get your look the way you want it. But when you get frustrated, or like if you come to a point where you are getting frustrated, definitely just, close it out from there, put the melt belt on and let it kind of set. And then when you come back after letting it set, it'll be even easier to go in and just like continue the process of getting it exactly how you want it. For me, I have it pretty much how I want it. I definitely don't want it to be melted down. So you'll see I'm going to like pull it up a little bit later and make the baby hairs a little bit more wispy without using any heat on them. But, I'm just wanted to go ahead and use the melt belt from now to go ahead and allow all that to set and mold and really get in there and melt while we work on the curls. So today we are working with 250% density hair, and it is 26 inches in length. That is a lot of hair to work with when it comes to curls, especially because this hair is blonde and color treated. So I want to make sure that my curls are going to stay. The worst thing ever is to use like a large barrel and curl large pieces. Do all this work and then the entire thing balls. I definitely wanted to keep my dimension. So I did go in with a little bit of heat protectant, which is going to help to make sure everything comes out perfect. And then it's also going to ensure the longevity of the hair and not damage the hair, especially heat on blonde. And then from there, I am going to go ahead and use a wand curler. Wand curlers to me are the GOAT and definitely a first curling iron these days, in my opinion. When it comes to like my kids, I definitely don't want them to be putting wand curls in their real hair. Just the idea of that mortifies me, even when they are adults, because our hair is just so fragile. When they get into their cosmetology era and I buy them like their wig heads to practice braids and hairstyles, I definitely will teach them wand curls before like barrel wand or barrel curls, because these are so much easier to achieve and they definitely hold a lot better than barrel curls a lot of the times, especially for beginners. My only recommendation is that you wear the glove that will come with your wand curler. I don't, but it definitely will help. Now, I did the opposite side off camera and I sprayed a little Flex Hold hairspray all the way around. Now we've removed the melt belt and you guys can see how melted and flat the hairline got. We did lose a little bit of that product, so I did go back in and buff in a little bit more lace tint. And again, I'm going to go ahead and play with this a little bit more off camera because it's a good color. But I feel like it can be even more perfect and I can just, you know, turn it up a notch. So I definitely will. At this point, I kind of had decided I did not like my baby hair, but I did want baby hair. So the key for me was to kind of lift what I had done and then pull a little bit more forward and kind of just let it lay and fall, opposed to like being edge controlled down, if that makes any sense. So I did pull a little bit extra forward so it's more full, and then I trimmed it to a nice like medium long length and then kind of like swooped it in the shape but let it stay like not swooped or not molded, if that makes any sense. And I really like the way this looked more than just the molds, because with blonde hair, baby hair can definitely be tricky. And then I went ahead and repeated the same thing on the opposite side, and I love the way it came out. And this is pretty much the finished look. I do like my curls to set and just stay molded for as long as possible before I go ahead and comb them out. So I kind of was deciding, do I want to like separate them with my fingers, or do I want to actually use a comb or a brush to comb them out? It's always a little bit nerve-wracking, especially how far I've come with curls. I remember spending like an hour on curls just to brush them out, and like nothing, like everything would fall flat. It would be less body than even the body wave. So I am proud of the way these curls came out. They're absolutely flawless. They're perfect. I definitely couldn't ask for more. If you do want to do something a little bit more, you can definitely add layers. Layers always help your curls to pop even more. And that is pretty much it, my loves. This one came out flawless, beautiful, gorgeous. We're gonna have fun with it and turn it up a notch for the summer. Let me know what you guys think, especially if you have got a little bit of melanin to you. Do you do blonde? Is you an ash blonde girl? Are you a dark root blonde girl? Or do you just not do blonde at all? I want to hear what you have to say. In the meantime, in between time, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with your friends. Also check for a link to this one and all the details in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches.